Everybody, my name is Eleanor Hicks, and I'm in the sociology department. Anyway, it's been really interesting to hear how everybody else has started to kind of think about how to transition online. I think we're all going to do somewhat different things. Some are utilizing a little bit of a hybrid approach. Some might be going totally online and then meeting in the classroom, depending on how this surge in COVID is going to play out. One thing that I want to emphasize is just to communicate with students. I think that is really important to be consistent and communicate with students. So I've taught online for the last couple of years, along with many of you, and I've communicated with my students in a lot of different kinds of ways. Email, Canvas announcements, feedback on assignments, through the grade book, but also by providing video reminders. And I'm going to try to share my screen. My homepage, as you're going to see here, is going to look a lot like everybody else's homepages. And I structure my course, it looks like, in a similar way as well. Let's see here. If I could just... I had it set up. Let's see here. If I can quickly get back to Zoom and see if I can, there we go. Share one of my classes from last fall. Can you all see, Alex, can you see my screen? Okay, good. So this is one of my courses in Problems in Modern Society, and it's probably looking pretty similar. It's on the last week of class, so I'm kind of waving my students goodbye with a fabulous winter break with a wintry scene. But if I scroll down a little bit, you will see that I provide video reminders every week. And these video reminders are very flattering sometimes, but but I post them on my front page every week. I like to post them on the front page because it kind of humanizes the class a little bit. Students can just go onto the front page, click on my video reminder, and they'll actually kind of see me, not live in person, but it's at least a person speaking with them. And they have the ability to make comments if they choose to do so as well, to facilitate an interaction between myself and the students. Now, I keep these video reminders quite, let me see if I can find something more flattering. There we go. I keep them quite short. As you can see, this one is only 42 seconds long. And if video reminders is something that you would like to incorporate into your classes, I would recommend to do them under 2 minutes. I've noticed that students, if they are kind of lengthy, they might tune out after half of the video or something along those lines. And we put quite some time into making our announcements and videos. So you kind of want students to pay attention to them. So usually I will select a couple of the most important things that I've announced in announcements or in an email. And I will kind of highlight the 2 or 3 most important things in my video that I want them to take away from my written message. Now, in a 16-week class, though, there could be, if hopefully we do not go into isolation or whatever we want to call it that long. But if you are new to teaching online, for example, in a 16-week class, once you are in a regular schedule, you might find yourself in a situation where, okay, this week I don't really necessarily have one of those reminders that you want to remind the class about, but you still want a presence in the classroom. So during these times, what I will do is check in on students. Ask them how they're doing in a video message or in an email. And this kind of shows students not only that you care, but also humanizes the class once again. Other things that I've done during these times is to give students some tips, Canvas tips. Although our students are getting really familiar with Canvas and pretty proficient about it, I do notice at times that there are things that they're not very familiar with, such as I often, every semester, get 1 or 2 students, or maybe even more, that ask me how to read annotated feedback in their assignments. So if I scroll down, let's see here. I created a screen share for a Canvas tip one week when I didn't really have one of those reminders to my students. So I told them, okay, here's some annotated, here's some tips about how to view annotated feedback in Canvas. Other things that I've done as well is to give students study tips. Studying for a face-to-face classroom and for an online classroom might be a little different in a sense, because there's a lot more independent learning in the online classroom compared maybe to the face-to-face classroom. So I've also incorporated in these kind of weekly videos study tips as well. So those are just a few things that you could do and incorporate into your online classrooms to humanize the class, show students that that caring element as well. There are also ways probably that you can organize the front page with drop-down menus. I'm going to give a little push to take the design tools classes with academic technology. I'm not that advanced yet to get it organized that way, but it's on my to-do list. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen right here. And if you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer anything that you have.
Thank you so much, Eleonora. I think that keeping that idea of flexibility is just so important. And I really love how you highlight building the consistent presence and thinking about how to be strategic about what is most helpful for students. And as a side note, students can struggle with seeing how to see annotated feedback. And there's actually some research that shows that if it's difficult to view the annotated feedback and they don't know how to view it, oftentimes students won't look at it, which I think confirms our lived experience. So that's a really smart way to kind of prevent that. Any questions for Eleonora before we move on? Okay, so we're about halfway through our speakers. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to just drop in the chat this Padlet that we have on the 4 C's of temporary online teaching. We posted an infographic about how we can prioritize and think about communication, consistency, care, and content as kind of 4 guiding principles as we're thinking about moving into, the online teaching temporarily in ways that we can ensure that we're best supporting our students, but also keeping our sanity and not driving ourselves crazy. So if we shared this at adjunct faculty seminar last night, and we had some faculty drop in some ideas. This is kind of meant to be a crowdsourced toolkit. So as we're going through, if you have any ideas that stand out to you or any aha moments, feel free to add a little plus button down here, and you can add your own thoughts as we're going through. And then I will post this on the blog on Tuesday along with the recordings. So I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing. The Padlet the link is in the chat, and I'll keep on dropping it in the chat throughout. And we get to go to our next speaker. So Sarah, do you want to share your Getting to Know You survey, please?